My name is Austin Ogana. I'm the publisher of The Will. You know, at The Will, we try to keep our public officials real. We're here in Akpabio to come see what is really happening because a lot has been said about the governor, Akpabio. We've been here for 3 days. We've seen a couple of things that he's done in terms of infrastructure. And I guess from here we'll move to a couple of other states. This is the first of 12 series. We intend to do this in a couple of states. The idea is actually not to really criticize all the time, but to see if we can, highlight and celebrate some of the things, that's been done by public officials. Anyway, we hope you enjoy this very first series of the Will television specials. Your Excellency, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk to you. This is the inaugural interview in our special interview series, which is a groundbreaking project that we just launched. And we've seen all the things that you've been doing. And I'm just wondering, how come it's Akpabio? All the awards have been going to Akpabio. Why Akpabio?
I think it's not really a function of Akpabio. Nigerians really appreciate good governance. I recall that last year, the governor of Delta received an award for microcredit financing from the Central Bank of Nigeria for touching the lives of Deltans positively. And this year, I was honored by the same Central Bank of Nigeria, and they referred to me as Mr. Infrastructure for what they believe is infrastructural revolution that are put in place. But be that as it may, I think the major thing there is that, yes, indeed, positive things are happening in governance in various states of the Federation. I think that's the message for the diaspora, that positive things are happening in the area of governance in various states of the Federation. So it's no longer so much of the stories of lamentations, that you can see this flicker of hope that, yes, indeed, governments are working and that things are turning around for the better for the Nigerian citizen. The reason why so much awards for God's will Akpabio is because it's God's will. It's God's will. It's the will of God. This is not a story. You are now an eyewitness to the miracle that is happening in the state, to the uncommon transformation that he has unleashed on the state in the last 5 years. When I was contesting the election for my re-election in 2011, I went around and I told my people at every podium I mounted, I said, if I wasn't contesting election, I would have voted for God's will Akpabio. I would have voted for God's will Akpabio, yes, indeed, because I'm a beneficiary of good governance. Areas that never saw roads now have roads. Communities that never saw light now have light. Children that never thought they could be in school are now in school. Mothers that couldn't go to hospital in the past and ended up dying in prayer homes during childbirth can now walk in because of the free medical treatment of this governor. Areas that never saw hospital, like Ibno, in East Nobolo, areas that very far away, far-fetched, in rural communities now have general hospitals. So you come across a situation where even people that did not think that agriculture could work now are producing. Food sufficiency is now a major issue on the front burner of government. And then you can see people that for over 50 years, the state was a pedestrian state. He has turned the state into a destination. People can fly in directly into Uyo. There's no feeling like that. For you to come in from the diaspora, enter into Abuja, and then you enter a plane and you see Uyo. Not to talk of those who are going on pilgrimage. You don't need to struggle again for 2.5 hours to Port Harcourt. You just walk to Uyo airport. 15 minutes later, you're on your way to Israel. When you land in Israel, and then you come down, and then, or you go to Rome, as it normally happens, or you go to Greece, you can now imagine that, yes, indeed, it was good that God's will was done in Akpabio. So those were the reasons why I said, if I wasn't contesting election, I would have voted for this God's will Akpabio. And so I don't know which award that the will give to this governor after the visit by the team. But I think it is a boost. It's a tremendous encouragement for any Nigerian leader to be so recognized. It shows clearly that the people appreciate good governance, and it will spur any leader to do more for the sake of the people.
Okay. Your Excellency, the Breast Commission, which is an acronym for, I believe it's Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo, and Delta, the union of 6 states, which you're a part of. I just want to know your relationship with the South-South, with your fellow South-South governors. I asked this question because I know not too long ago you were in court with Rivers State over a couple of oil wells, and a judgment was given. And I know that a judgment is due in an oil-related matter between Akwa Ibom and your neighbor Cross River.
Those things were done in the administration between 1999 and 2007. I became a governor in 2007. For instance, the reason why we're in court with Rivers was because certain oil wells were realigned, and a lot of Akwa Ibom oil wells were given to Rivers State. Well, they took us to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, oh, go and share with them. So you take 86 and give them 86. And Supreme Court is a final court, so you cannot argue with the decision of the Supreme Court. I mean, these are not issues that can cause friction between me and my brother governors, because these were not issues of our making. You can have a child and a son, and you have disagreement with your son. The son will not say, you are no longer my father. No. So, to be honest with you, small misunderstandings that are issues that we met on ground as governors notwithstanding, we have managed to bond together. And that is even why the birth of Breast Commission that you are seeing today, we have attempted to focus on regional integration to bring the entire South-South region together, so we can look at regional development and then look at regional integration and do projects that one can point at that will show significantly that, yes, this region is focused. And that was how the Breast Commission came about.
Your Excellency, the NGF, the Nigeria Governors Forum, over the years has succeeded in making sure that state legislators does not have financial autonomy.
Oh, I'm so surprised. Go and look at the budgeting, because you see, please, just get this very clear. It's a very funny situation. I see those things on pages of newspapers and all that, and I keep smiling. Do you know what is happening at the federal level? The federal government, if you, for instance, you have the federal government does sharing of monies in arrears, not in advance. For instance, if you hear FAR account of this month, what's this month? May. The FAR account of this May is actually the FAR account of April. They are going to be sharing the money that was collected in April in the month of May. So the federal government is always 1 month behind. And so there is always money available at the federal level. But the state government spends its money whenever it becomes due. It is the one that you collect this month that you are going to spend this month. If you collect FAR money before 20th of the month, it means from 21st, 22nd is when you pay your salary and do your expenditure. And therefore, there is nothing for you to have by way of financial autonomy to pass to the state legislature, because you don't even know what will come to you. Budgets are only estimates. So these monies are not available. You can only estimate. So if you are going to do projection, if you are going to do financial autonomy to State House of Assembly based on estimate, then you are going to cause a lot of confusion. Because the House of Assembly that budgets 155 billion expects to have 155 billion. But can it have 155 billion? No. No state will have 155 billion to give the House of Assembly. It is as it comes in. And then sometimes a state can budget 400 billion in a year. And what eventually comes into that state is 200 billion. It has to make do with 200. But so if you look at financial autonomy, if within that 400 billion that was budgeted for that year, and the House of Assembly's own was 50 billion, the House of Assembly does not want to hear story. It expects the 50 billion. But that is only an estimate. If at the end of that year, what comes in is 200, it means everybody's budget is reduced by 50%. Will the House of Assembly agree to take 50% of his budget?
No.
It will become an impeachable offense against the governor. The problem of a federation is unique. The problem of a state is different from that of the federation. That's the first thing you need to know. So what works for a state may not necessarily work for a federation. And then you need to know that what am I doing at the state level? I'm emulating the policies of the federal government. I'm copying the policy of the federal government. The federal government is undertaking transformation in all areas, from power all the way to industries and even in road transportation. I copied that policy, but I turned it into uncommon transformation. So while the federal government is undertaking transformation, I'm undertaking uncommon transformation. You know why? Because the federal government is going to transform an already existing power sector. The federal government is going to transform an already existing rail system that has refused to work, that has become moribund. But I am going to Etimegbo-Ika Road that had never had a road, 56 kilometers, that needed a bridge right from 1967 when the Belly Bridge done by the colonial masters collapsed. And I'm going there to give me a road, 56 kilometers with a bridge. Mine becomes uncommon transformation. The federal government zone is already existing, so it becomes transformation. Mine becomes uncommon transformation. So who is copying from who? I'm copying from the federal government. For Nigerians in diaspora, I'll plead with them to look homewards, because like we have a saying in our language that no matter how the bird flies in the sky, the legs must point to the ground. So no matter the country you stay in, your natural place of birth still remains Nigeria, and therefore don't overlook Nigeria when it comes to your input.
2015 around the corner.
Yes.
You're definitely not going to run as governor of Akwa Ibom State again.
By the Constitution.
According to the Constitution. Where do we see you?
Well, thank God, I pray that 2015 will meet all of us alive. I see myself as an elder statesman, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and sitting down as a development consultant, giving advice to the youths from local government to the states.
Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
You have answered the very difficult question. Our viewers would like to thank the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Chief Godswill Akpabio, who has received numerous awards for his infrastructural and uncommon development in Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you.